You are listening to the Salopian Mixtape with me, Michaela Wylde.
And me, Simon Berry, and you are joining us in a very special place. This is Spinning Around Records here in Wellington. It's a fairly new record shop that has opened, and we're very excited to be joined by the owner, Emma.
Hi there.
So tell us about this venture then. So when did you first open?
I opened beginning of September, but it was about 18 months in the planning, really. Where I previously worked, they were sending my job abroad, and I didn't want to look for a new role within the company because it would have meant commuting to Birmingham. So I decided to take the redundancy money and open a record shop.
Is music and records something that's been an ongoing passion for you then?
Always. It's always been the thing. You know, when I was little, I remember having my first tape when I was like 8 for Christmas. It was Kylie's first album with a cassette player, and it's just always gone from there, you know, always buying singles, albums. It's always been a big part of me, yeah.
Has that been a dream then to have a record shop of your own, to call your own?
I think if it hadn't have happened with me losing my job, it wouldn't have happened. But I think it made me put my thinking cap on to think, what do I want to do? And I was like, I'm giving a year's payoff. I want to do something for me. And I wanted to open a record shop that I always say it's sort of female friendly, pop friendly, because if you think about it, there's not many record shops which are female fronted. And like I said, obviously I said a complete mix of music, but pop is at the heart of what I do here. I do something a little bit different to the majority of other shops.
Yeah, I was going to say that is something that you can tell is different about this place, because a lot of record shops, you tend to have types of record shops. So you have sort of the second-hand stuff which focuses on a lot of sort of 70s or old Fleetwood Mac and old Saxon and Led Zeppelin, or then you've got the new record shops which are very sort of indie and alternative focused, and the kind of six music hipster listening people we're going to, myself included. But then it's really refreshing actually to have something that's it's a bit more popular. Is that something that you're proud of and you're sharing widely?
Yeah, I mean, it's just born from my own frustrations, being like I love all music. You know what I mean? I know I used to be an indie kid in my teenage years, and I'm quite broad in what I know, but it's pop music I love at heart. And I think it's just born from my frustrations of going to record shops and them not really having much of a selection, and things like Record Store Day, they wouldn't really order many of the pop titles, so it was very stressful. But I know there's so many people up and down the country, world even, you know, now you can go on TikTok and have a look, that collect the same records as me, and it's just trying to focus something to a whole gap of people that until now it's been missed out.
You mentioned TikTok because obviously you are quite a creator online for sharing what you do, and I mean, you've experienced people coming to the shop from far afield because of that, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I think once I got the idea that I'm going to open a record shop, and then my friend kept sending me TikToks, and I used to think it was just people doing dance routines, but then I found like Vinyl Talk and realised you connect with people that have the same passion as yourself, where you can show off your record collection and look at the new presses and do vinyl unboxing. And I just suddenly went, I'm going to start this. So yeah, I started posting on there and building up a following, talking about my own record collection. And then obviously when the time came, I got to do my mic drop and go, I'm opening a record shop, guys. And from then, obviously, I set up a new account for the record shop, and then I documented the whole process of fitting the shop out. So many people were joining and following the journey, and then they've either travelled down for opening day, they've been travelling down over the few months now that I've been open to come and visit the shop, or they were nagging me to open online. So yeah, I always knew I was going to have a website, but they made me do it a lot sooner than what I would have done probably, because they were all chomping at the bit to buy from me. And that's been growing and growing and growing as well. People are sort of connecting with what I'm doing, and you know, putting myself as the face of the business, and you know, chatting with people online, and you know, being able to converse with them. They just really like what I'm doing.
How does that convert then the online community to real world and making a living for yourself?
I think you start off with one idea of I want to do this, and you do have to change it as you go, because I mean, you learn what your local customers want. I always say any record you want, if it's in press, just let me know, I'll order it in. and you do learn what the tastes are. So yeah, I mean, I'm very varied in what I stock. I've got everything from, you know, all your pop music. I've got, you know, your Led Zeppelin, your Beatles, the pre-love section. It's completely eclectic for what music comes in. It's just that pop's at the heart of what I do, really. But like I said, all tastes are catered for here, and you don't get laughed at for what you buy, like happened to me when I bought Bananarama at a record fair once. The store holder laughed at me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they were selling it.
Well, I think, well, yeah. Well, but I'm like, I don't judge people's music tastes. It's a subjective thing. And as long as people are enjoying what they listen to and buying the physical format, that's what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't like the phrase guilty pleasure because I don't want to feel guilty about it. It's just pleasure. If you like something, go for it.
That's it. I think my old record collection's a guilty pleasure, to be fair. So,
but the thing is, we're living in an age where everything is so digital, is so online. It's, you know, and there is a real pleasure in having tangible music that you can be part of the journey that's been created by that artist. So kind of like sleeve notes, if they put lyrics in there, the artwork that goes alongside it. And there's something about being able to physically press play on whether it's a CD, a cassette, or it's vinyl. You know, having that physical thing to hold is so special. And you know, you think that pop music would be, you'd be less drawn to that because, you know, it's faster, it's easier, it's quicker to stream and to listen that way. But artists like Taylor Swift, for example, re-releasing all of her work under herself now because of everything she kind of went through with labelling and the royalties and the ownership of her music. People have been desperate to get hold of physical copies of Taylor's music. I mean, has she been a big selling artist for you?
She has. I always say the big three are Taylor, Lana and Harry. They just sell and sell and sell. I mean, for good reason, but also what they do now, it's the collectability of vinyl as well. So you will get it where you'll get the presses in different colours, you'll get different sleeves. And everyone, you don't just buy one record, you want to collect the set and have them all. And it's just, you know, you don't get that with streaming, you don't get that with CDs. It's the whole experience of getting the album, looking at which format you got, trying to collect them, trying to hunt down the really hard ones to get. And it's more of an experience. And yeah, Taylor, like I said, she's, God bless her.
So would you agree then that the sort of vinyl revival, which really has been happening for the last, 10, 15 years now, is here to stay?
Definitely. I mean, I started collecting this time round in 2015, and I remember when it was just one little plastic box at the side of the till in a leading retailer that I won't mention. And, you know, and a lot of pop music wasn't pressed on vinyl. And I can see how it's grown to the point now where you have like whole record shops again opening up and down the country, and all the different formats and records, you know, everything coming out on vinyl as well as CD or on an online platform. And I think it is here to stay. Like I said, the young guns, again, they're connecting with it and like loving it the same as I did when I was a kid, that you can open it up and look at all the pictures, and I think it's here to stay, yeah.
Good. I'm one of those. I was going to say suckers. I am a sucker for all the different kinds of vinyl, different colours.
Oh, it pulls me in. It's terrible. It's like, no, I don't need 5 copies of the same album, but I want 5 copies of the same album.
That's the thing. That is the thing. And yeah, there are a few albums where I have too many copies of, but each one is special in its own special way.
You can't have too many. Can't have too many.
Exactly.
Doesn't come into the equation with vinyl.
No, but doesn't happen with streaming.
No, and that's what I said. And I think streaming, you know, even if you get a decent speaker, it doesn't sound the same. It's just flat and, you know, playlists. You lose sight of actually even listening to albums, which is why I went back to vinyl, because I realised what was happening. And I was like, no, I want to listen to a whole album from start to finish again. And it's like a journey, isn't it? That's it. It's sequenced in a way that we listen to it and go with the artist.
Now, another thing that you're doing here as a local record store, as well as a bit of an online sensation, is that you're stocking music where you can from local artists, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm really up for it. I mean, I'm happy for anyone that's local to have their, you know, their album in the store. And to be honest, it's not even like I want anything back for doing it. I just like that it's somewhere that you can go and buy the album. It's a physical format, and it's helping someone that's local.
And you've done just that for an artist called Dribs, haven't you?
Yeah, I remember he came in not long before, I don't know, not long after opening. I've lost track of time, so honestly, since I opened. But yeah, he introduced himself and he mentioned the possibility of me stocking it. I was totally up for it. And that's it, yeah. I've now got his CD in store.
Superb.
Should we hear more from him?
Let's.
Hey guys, this is your local artist Dribs, representing Telford as a drum and bass and a hip hop artist, and I am very proud to say my brand new album Pieces of Me is available and out to purchase now. And I just want to send a massive shout out to Emma at Spinning Around Records for supporting local homegrown artists. Your support is invaluable, and I advise the people of Telford to go and visit this great record store and see what Emma has to offer. It's so important these days to support local businesses, and I think Telford as a community is really starting to push this same ethos. So here's to many more years of Spinning Around Records, providing great music to the people. Here's a track taken from this forthcoming album. It's called Be Fine and it features MC Witto, and I really hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed recording it.
I'm surrounded by so many people, yet I feel so alone.
Emma, and it must be lovely to hear such nice comments from Dribs.
It is. It's like it's nice that, you know, you've got a local artist that wants to get involved with his shop, and we're talking about maybe doing it in store. I was like, after the we go over Christmas, and I got the shop sorted again because Christmas was manic. But yeah, it's definitely something I want to get involved with. We're getting, you know, local artists in and doing in stores and having, you know, giving something back and making a community of so many people I know now from, you know, coming in and as customers, and they're now friends. And it's just nice that you can do something and hang out together and share our passion.
You've certainly got the space for it as well. You've got the space for it. Although you do have to share the space with cutouts like Kylie Minogue. And I was going to ask, because you mentioned earlier, Kylie being one of the first records that you played. Is that the reason behind the name?
It is. I'll be totally honest. I mean, Kylie is my number one. Like I said, first album I ever owned. But when I was trying to think of a name for the shop, I was going through all these song titles of all the artists I like. Couldn't think of anything. I mentioned it to my group of record collecting friends, and my friend Tom just turned around and said, Spinning Around. And I was like, why didn't I think of that? I was like, that's the most obvious name ever. So sometimes you need a hand, don't you?
Yeah, just to properly just smack you out of it and go, oh, okay.
And I was like, I can't believe I've just missed something so glaringly obvious in front of me. But yeah.
If someone was listening to this that is living with just digital music, they haven't actually, you know, gone out and bought physical, tangible music before, and they're thinking, do you know what? I'm passionate about music. I'd love to own some vinyl. How would you recommend they got started?
I mean, I always say, yes, get an entry-level turntable. They're not going to be there's so many different turntables, but the thing is, you don't want to go out, spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds on a turntable, and then decide that the hobby isn't for you, because it is an expensive hobby. So yeah, I mean, it's a very...
Don't tell my girlfriend.
It's very expensive, very addictive hobby. So I say, yeah, get a starter turntable. Make sure it's something you enjoy. You're happy to be spending the money, investing in the vinyl, and then upgrade and get a better turntable. Obviously, the more you spend, the better quality you're always going to get on your sound. It's going to look after your records better, but it's like anything. Your first car isn't going to be, I don't know, a posh car, because I don't know cars. You know what I mean? You have to start somewhere and build up from it, and I think it's fine the same with turntables.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That's what I did. I started off with one of those USB turntables that
I had a suitcase one.
Plug into my computer as well, so I could just rip records onto my computer, so I could have both. But then the more you get into it, the more you're like, oh, I can learn an awful lot. But there's one thing to be aware of: there's no upper limit on it.
No.
Matter how much money you spend, there'll always be someone going, it's not quite good enough though, is it?
Yeah, but there's such snobbery of your suitcase players and whatnot, and you're like, yeah, in the long run they're not brilliant. Yeah, you know what I mean? You are going to have to invest in something better. But I think as a starting out, to find if you enjoy it, it's like, you're not going to do, start football as a hobby and, you know what I mean, have the best expensive boots, are you? You're not going to have a home gym when you decide to work out overnight. You have to start somewhere, decide that, yes, this is for me, and then you can build up and get a better player.
What would you say to any artists who would be listening now who, like Dribs, would like to bring some music in to be sold here?
Oh, I'd say definitely yes. I mean, if I could get more and get more in, I'd like to have like a display shelf and make something of it to say it's local artists. So it really draws the attention to it. So it's just come in or drop me a message, and I'm happy to do it.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, exactly.
If people want to come and find you in store and online, how can they do that? Where can they find you?
So if they want to come and find me in store, so I'm right in the middle of the main street in Wellington. I always say opposite Cash Converters. I'm the old Clark shoe shop, if anyone remembers that. Obviously, I like shoes, but vinyl is better. You can find me on Instagram. I'm under Spinning Around Records. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter now, X is it? And obviously TikTok's my other big platform, which again, Spinning Around Records.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for having an accessible space for people that love music that feels so comfortable and welcoming. It's a lovely place to come to.
Exactly. And I will apologise to Michaela in advance now because I'm spending some money.
Say no to that.